solely and completely to sound.
It's time for some brass facts. Today we're going to be doing potentially the last of the AK stock to stack videos on this WASR. Just a refresher for newer viewers, stock to stack covers how I take a stock rifle and make it stacked from a functional rifle point of view. Since this video is going to be fairly short because I really didn't add too much, I'm going to also add my opinion on the AK platform and my experiences with it coming from an AR-15 guy after about 1,300 rounds with the AK platform. For the people that have been keeping track, not that much has changed since the last time. Originally I was going to chop off the barrel, do some fancy stuff, new threads, further back gas block, all that stuff, but after pricing it out, especially with this COVID situation, I'd rather just get a new rifle at that point. The main addition is this new muzzle device, a JMac custom RDD. Hold on. The new addition is this RRD 2C14F JMac key mount, which allows me to mount a suppressor to the AK, specifically any key mount equipped can that is dead air and certain silencer code ones that have the mount swapped. I'm going to take this off just so you can see underneath. There you go. So it's a 2-port muzzle brake. Does the job fairly well and allows me to mount my can. Sadly enough, I haven't checked concentricity, so I can't actually shoot this can without fear of blasting this thing apart, or at least baffle striking it, that is. So you'll see future videos of me shooting the can, probably when I review the Hall Sun sitting on top of here. But yeah, like I said, this comp does a fair bit. Generally, I'm pretty anti-compensator on like rifles like this because generally the muzzle climb reduction is not needed, or the recoil reduction is not needed, and you get a very, very large auditory signature increase, especially indoors. It's a lot of concussive force, and flash signature both indoors and at night is kind of brutal. So I generally prefer flash hiders, but on an AK platform like this, the benefits outweigh the cons. And I think that's really about it. Kind of show you what we got on this whole rifle so far. As I click 6 buttons on my computer while I move the rifle. But yeah, not much else has been added, or nothing's been added. We got the mount, flashlight ended up working out pretty well. Hall Sun is still alive, which is impressive considering it gets too hot to touch when I run this rifle in drills. Beyond that, not much. I kept the Hogue grip. I don't really like these finger grooves, but whatever. That's not too important. And the stock has been doing pretty well, and my 550 paracord Magpul sling is holding up well. Doing all right so far. I think that ties nicely into my thoughts on how I've liked and disliked the AK as I've kind of gotten a little better at it, I'd like to think. First off, we'll start off with some of the good. Pretty sure AKs just don't need lube. Like, obviously I still lube it up, but I haven't really cleaned, or straight up, I haven't cleaned the rifle or lubed it since I first got it, and I've left it at the car, and I've run 1,300 rounds through it. This thing does not give a shit if it's dirty, clean, whatever, which fills into the stereotype of AKs. You know, everyone knows they run pretty well, which is really nice, especially for a car gun. Lube tends to dry off, and grease is not far behind, especially after doing a little bit of shooting. So this will be kind of cool, especially when winter comes around, where lube on a firearm is kind of a major pain in the butt. In my AO, temperatures get upwards of 115 the other day, and generally dip below freezing quite frequently in the winter. So that being said, I will mention I did get a single failure where a live round got wedged in the chamber in such a way that the firearm would not fire. This was a one of. I won't really give the rifle a pass, but I also won't count it against it. May have been ammo, I'm not, or a piece of sand stuck in the chamber. I'm not sure. I'm rolling photos of that now. I'll let you guys know if that's something that repeatedly happens, but it's still kind of a bummer that that happened. Aside from that, we didn't get a single malfunction. I didn't even get ammunition failures, which is generally kind of common with Tula. So I'm pretty stoked about that. So 1,300 rounds, one catastrophic failure. Not amazing, but we'll see as I shoot this rifle more and more. AK ammo is pretty cheap. I might be shooting a lot more of this than 5.56. Another pro, reloads. Way more fun than AR reloads. Nailing a good AK reload makes you feel like some tactical high-speed operator, and it's probably one of the most satisfying experiences with the AK platform. It's really visceral. With an AR reload, it's kind of clinical. You do the reload and you're like, that was a reload. Cool. And then onto the round. Generally, I actually don't really like the 7.62x39 round, but there are some good parts of it. For a Cargon specifically in a city, the much heavier round has much more inherent barrier blind capabilities, especially in its FMJ configuration. And in the future, should I want to run a short AK, it's a lot less velocity dependent compared to 5.56, which is incredibly velocity dependent. SBR AK in some point? Krinkov? I don't know. So on to the bad. There's no doubt the AK is significantly slower to run than AAR, and I'm talking 7.62x39 versus ARs in 5.56. I'm getting, even with the brake attached, I'm getting slower splits, slower reloads, and I have to work harder for slower times, obviously. I'm by no means a crack AK dude, but I'm going fairly fast, and I'm making my hits, and I'm getting slower times. On that 3-shot reload, 3-shot group at a 6-inch plate at 30 yards, I'm averaging about 8 seconds. And even though I'm bringing that time down, it's kind of plateauing just about 7.7 seconds. I'm thinking is where I'll bottom out at. Even excluding averages and going for my perfect runs, I'm only getting about 7.5, and that's when I'm really nailing the reload and like being really on top of my recoil control. Another issue is kind of the safety. I wouldn't really have a problem with this if I was a righty. With the enhanced safety, safety is pretty easy as a righty. But as a lefty, I can't actually engage the safety and come up on target in a single motion like one does with an AR. Instead, I have to do it beforehand or engage with a magwell grip, which I'm not really a fan of. So safety is a big kind of ergonomic mess that I do not like. Another issue is the lack of a bolt hold open, which is probably not a huge deal practically speaking, because how often do you empty a mag? But the reality is it's really nice to have a gun tell you when it's empty instead of going click. Also, bolt releases are nice, which is not too big of a deal. Moving on though, another bad is this round kind of sucks for what you're getting. You're getting good performance on barriers, as I mentioned, but terminally, which is kind of an important thing, from the guys I've talked to, the research I've done, Doc, GKR, stuff like that, compared to 5.56 and 5.45, terminally it's kind of It's still incredibly lethal, but you get a lot more out of 5.56 and 5.45, which also recoils significantly less. So you're doing a lot more work handling the recoil and getting kind of less on terminal performance. So that's my thoughts on the AK platform. In the end, I feel like I have to mention this. Does it really matter? Maybe, yeah. But even though it does perform worse, there's no doubt that this is a still incredibly lethal platform. And while you won't see me converting my entire arsenal, I'm sounding like CNN, my entire inventory of weapons to the AK platform, because mounting optics, times, the round, etc., it's still not bad enough that I just have zero trust in this platform. It's still going to end up as my car gun. I'm still going to test the Holosun on it, and I have no doubt if I pull this rifle out in a situation where I require a rifle, it'll get the job done. I think it's useful from time to time to remind oneself that being on the cutting edge of performance isn't always needed, especially since the biggest driving factor of performance is the user, not the equipment. Anyway, that's been some brass facts for you. I got the Strybog Inbog. Oh, the dog hit the camera. Amazing. Anyways, I got the Strybog inbound to an FFL coming up this week. So first looks videos on that coming up real soon. So that'll be really cool. So subscribe, stay tuned for that, and we'll see you around.